In the heart of West Point, Liberia's largest slum community, a young Liberian named Windell S King stood as a beacon of hope amidst the struggle of poverty and limited access to clean water. With a determined spirit and a heart full of compassion, Windell embarked on a journey to bring lasting change to his community. Through the NGO For Hunger, Windell envisioned the installation of 28 water pumps strategically placed throughout West Point. Knowing that access to clean water was a fundamental human right, he set out to make it a reality for every resident in West Point. Despite facing numerous challenges along the way, from logistical hurdles to financial constraints, Windell remained unwavering in his commitment. He mobilized a team of dedicated volunteers from within the community, empowering them to become agents of change in their own neighborhoods. Together, they worked tirelessly, digging trenches, laying pipes, and installing pumps in key locations across West Point. Each pump represents a lifeline for the residents, offering a source of clean, safe water in the midst of adversity. As the number of pumps grew, so did the sense of hope and resilience within the community. Family no longer had to trek long distances or rely on contaminated sources of water. Children could attend school without fear of falling ill from waterborne diseases. So grab a snack or a drink as we tell you the story of a young Liberian who is making massive change in his community. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Like always, I am your favorite Liberian boy, Fizzle. And today we have a special guest here with us. His name is Windell S King. I already did an intro telling you who he is, but you know, it's probably best you hear from the horse's mouth himself. What's up, Windell? Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks so much for having me, bro.
Okay, so would you give my audience a little brief explanation about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Windell S King, and I'm a Liberian. Of course, I was born in Liberia, and I currently run an initiative. It's called For Hunger. It's a registered U.S. organization, like a 501c3 organization. And also, I'm the president of a local football academy called the Liberia Football Academy. Okay, that's great. That's great. But today we are here because of For Hunger and the work you are doing in West Point. So what is For Hunger? How did you guys come up with, the initiative? Because you say you're a co-founder. Right.
Okay, so you guys are
Two.
Okay. What is For Hunger?
Yeah, so For Hunger, like I said previously, is a registered U.S. organization, and what we do at For Hunger, we provide life-saving meals and clean drinking water. I'm gonna say For Hunger started effectively 2020, but before For Hunger, I had initiatives, and I've literally been committed to giving back to humanity all of my life. I'll say for the short period of time, I've played pretty much, So at For Hunger, we provide life-saving meals and clean drinking water. For the food aspect, we have been working with two orphanages in Monrovia. Like there's one in Duper Road called the Zion Praise, like the CRM, and there's one in New Georgia. And in each of those orphanages, we have about 39 to 40 children living in. For the one in Duper Road, like the Zion Praise CRM, the kids have school there, so like they don't have to leave the compound to go outside for school. And for the one in New Georgia, like the kids leave the yard for school outside, which is not really bad, the fact that they are getting education, because education is very important for our nation. And like there's a common saying that says, if you educate a girl child,
you educate a nation.
Basically, educate an entire nation. So like we work with those two orphanages on the food aspect, and for the water aspect, when we started, we wanted to give back. We are all young people that are working together. Like I'm gonna say we're literally three. Like Zachary Brand, she lives in the US, he's an American, just 28 years, a young man as I am. And I have another brother, he's called Mohammed Akraman, similar age as Zach, and I'm 24, I'm gonna be 25 like May 29 of this year. So like young men want to give back to humanity, but just don't know the way forward. So we're brainstorming with like, what can we do for Liberia? Like how can we start in the country? Like what's the most needed area? That's the word, like the most needed area to give back to, with the exception of those two orphanages. And Abu, he basically grew up in West Point. He used to live in West Point. And for the record, West Point is the largest largest urban slum in all of Liberia.
In Liberia, yeah.
And like the commissioner of West Point office estimated there are about 80 to 90,000 people living in the slum. And West Point, of course, is divided into 7 zones, with each zone consisting of 4 to 5 blocks. So like I said, Abu used to live there. He was like, bro, you should.
Who is Abu? Abu is a friend of yours?
Like Mohammed.
Okay.
Like
no, but you know the audience don't know who Abu is. So just tell us, who is Abu? Is Abu somebody who was around doing the brainstorming of Full Hunger?
Right. So like I said, we are 2 co-founders, but like 3 men thing. So like Abu is like in the midst of all of the brainstorming, like the planning, the giving back thing, or giving back to humanity thing from the previous, like from the beginning of it all. So like Abu was like, guys, let's definitely check out West Point. And I freak out because when I used to be much smaller, I heard that West Point, like I used to live right on Broad Street, like the Riverly Cinnamon, like the former immigration area. So I used to hear a lot of rumors, like I would say rumors, you know, like people saying West Point is a very chaotic area. It's a reckless, ruthless area. You're gonna get hijacked, you're gonna lose your watch, you'll lose your phone, your tennis shoes, your phone, and all of those crazy rhetorics I used to hear about West Point. So when Abu made mention of West Point, I'm like, bro, you know, you're gonna see all this, like you should check it out. So it was this evening, I just took my backpack and I was just right behind Abu because he's pretty big. So like I was in the back just trying to creep, and he took me through the community. But when I entered the community, I saw that people were just busy doing their normal day things, like trying to make or earn means, trying to live, you know, trying to do businesses, trying to work and things like that. And
I would say, not to cut you off, but I would say when you took me there, you remember I was scared.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was actually scared, guys. I was really scared. I was just calling like, yo, where you at, bro? Come for me.
And you know,
and I realized that the people are actually friendly and down to earth.
And when you were kind of freaking out, I could sense that from your tone. I'm like, damn, this guy is really afraid, like picking up. You know, so like we visited West Point that time. It was my first time, I would say, since I grew up. And to cut long story short, I saw that people were very nice, and I was like, bro, we definitely can do something there. But visiting West Point, I saw that people lack a lot of things, like they lack access to a lot of things. But interestingly, clean drinking water, like accessible clean drinking water, is one of the major challenges like the people face in West Point. So I was like, since we are providing water, let's definitely start from this community. It's a great place to start. We're not just gonna build water pumps, but apparently we're gonna give back to the people. It's gonna mean a lot to them. It's just gonna change so many lives and save so many lives. And bro, I'm gonna say that before Full Hunger, like the organization impacts in West Point, the people there drank some of the dirtiest water. It's not a thing to openly say it this way, but just for the audience sake, you know, like
I've seen videos. You sent me videos of the water they used to drink before compared to now.
I know, man. Like there was a well I saw, and I'm trying to point my camera, but the moment I saw the water, like physically, I just freaked out. I'm like, damn, like I don't want to do this, but at the end of the day, I have to send it to some of our donors and my co-founder in the US to see the challenge the people face there. So like when we saw that, I'm like, bro, let's definitely build water pump, like I said previously, and we started building water pumps in West Point, like 2022 September. That's the rightful date. We started September.
2022 September. So if you count back from then, now
4 or 6 months. So like we built the first water pump. It was in a community called Bible Way. So when we built the first water pump, it was a great scene at the turning over. We usually do this formal turning over, which of course
I've been
several of them. So like it was a great scene. I saw the people so excited. But what I noticed is like I heard what the commissioner said, and I took it for granted how big the community is. But I noticed that the water pump could only serve that specific community, like the Bible Way community or the Princess. So like I went back to my team. I'm like, guys, this is good. We've built the first water pump. The people in this part of the community, they're not gonna drink dirty water again, like dirty water. They're not gonna have that to drink. And sure, let's definitely reach out to the other communities, because you do not expect someone, like for instance, you cannot expect a person from like 5, 6, 7 miles to come to Bible Way to get access to water pump number 1 or the first water pump. So we're like, let's decentralize this and pretty much take it to every block. There where we came up with a figure to build 28 water pumps in West Point to literally end the water crisis there.
Okay, so as of now, you guys have built?
We've built 14. I'm gonna say 13 for now because we're almost done with number 14, and bro, we're building number 15 as well. We started with it. So right now, as we're having this conversation, as you guys are watching this, we are building 2 water pumps together.
Okay.
Like simultaneously.
So maybe by the end of this month, 15, you definitely sure like maybe 15 will be done, or
like
14 will be done?
Like, well, in the middle of the month, March, I'll say, so probably before the end of March, we could be up to 17, 18 because we've had just enough funding for the next 2 to 3 water pumps, including like the ones we are on right now. So like next weekend, we should be turning over like water pump 14 and 15.
Okay.
So like the following week, I guess we're gonna take 2-3 days to look at what we did at 14 and 15 and right away get to like 16, 17 and maybe 18.
That's
so
great.
What I'm looking at, the thing about it is we want to give back. I call myself humanitarian. I really love to call myself that. It's good to give back.
Yeah,
but at times, like even myself, I need help. Like if I'm not in a good state, I cannot help people. If Zach is not in a good state, if depressed, stress, and things are not working for us, we cannot go out. So like it all comes back to a finance level, like the funding level.
Yeah.
So like the more funds we get at Full Hunger, the more we give back. Because I'm gonna say like we're very open for accountability and transparency's sake.
Yeah.
Almost, I wanna say every dollar, not almost, like every dollar we get through donation, everything goes back.
Yeah.
But in the future, when we're getting a lot in donation, we're gonna set up a system. It's gonna be more like us going back to some of the previous donors being like, we're doing this, we're raising the same amount, like $10,000 a month or $120,000 annually. So like we want you to help our overhead costs. That's like our salary, not salary, but compensation.
Compensation for you guys who are implementing the project. Okay, that's great. So the next question I want to ask you is, you guys don't only do water, but you all started with what? Donation of food stuff. And one may ask the question, why didn't you just continue with food? Because West Point, some people do need food there.
Right.
You understand? So why water?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm gonna say like I'm very big on education. I'm always motivating people on education, but also like I am a believer in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Those are 17, like SDG 1, no poverty, SDG 2, 0 hunger, clean water, like sanitation, which of course is the number 6. But like when I look at out of 17, I want to do a lot or as many as I can. But also I learned that there's no jack without trade. Like we say there's a jack without trade, but realistically, you cannot do everything.
Yeah, you can't do
burn
all.
yourself out. Just how change is not a one-time thing. Like it's a continuous process. So also I want to be known by a specific thing. I don't want people to be like, hey, this guy is a criminal. Hey, this guy is a pastor. Hey, this guy is a usher. Like it's crazy to be known by everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what can I pick in all of those 17 goals that whenever it is mentioned, people will always think about me. So,
they'll always refer you.
Yeah, right. So I thought about the food and the water aspect, and to be really big on water aspect because like in our country we really lack access to water. So like
not just water, but clean drinking water.
Clean drinking water, that's the point. So like wild water in general in Africa, women work multiple miles to get accessible clean water. It might not be Liberia, but when you go places like East Africa, like Central Africa, the problem is just on a large scale. It's just physically seen. Like women work multiple miles to get accessible clean water, and if they cannot have the clean water they are working miles for, they are left with some of our world's dirtiest water, even right in West Point, like, because some of the guys do not have access to clean water, which of course we want to solve that problem. We're on it. They are left with just the dirtiest water, like the short well, the green plants that algae thing growing all in it, and that water is unsafe. At the end of the day, you will see that even if a child who is in school drink that dirty water, that child will not go to school. The fact that child is sick.
Yeah, so waterborne diseases.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, even access to clean water, it helps improve the educational system. It actually helps improve the health sector as well. So we do water because we believe that water is life.
Okay. So the next question I want to ask
I
is,
hope I'm not talking too much.
No, you're not talking. You're not talking too much. You are explaining in detail.
Right.
So the next question I want to ask you is, when you and your co-founder started this initiative, Full Hunger, did you have sponsors? Did you have donors initially?
Yeah.
Or they came later on?
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, actually, everything in life, I'm gonna say, because I'm a book freaks, I'll just say it that way. I read some of the craziest
your bookworm.
Yeah, that's the word. I read some of the craziest autobiographies and biographies, I'll say it that way. And I've read a lot of books on Abraham Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., and even Martin Luther from the Lutheran Church. These are people I just read about and just so eager to learn about their story, their past life, and the impact it has had on society presently. So Abraham Lincoln, when I read his story, he was the 16th president of the U.S. Like the entire U.S. adore him all around the world. Even Mahatma Mohandas or Karamchand Gandhi is called Mahatma Gandhi from India. Like when you hear these names, you're like, these are good people in history. But when you look at their story, they all started from a specific area, pointing to Abraham Lincoln. Like he was born in a family where they were not wealthy, they were not well known, they were not popular. I learned he went to a ballad school. It's more of a school where the kids say their lessons very loud. I would say like the backyard school where when the teacher say A,
you gotta say
A. Something like that. And his mother even passed out when he was at a younger age, so he had to move from to Indiana, and later he moved to Illinois to his uncle's house. Like when Abraham Lincoln was in Illinois, he was so humble to the extent that he was called Honest Abe. And back to the question, you look at his life story, it started from somewhere. That's the point I'm trying to make. So he started from somewhere before being the great he is, or the great we consider him to be, the great he was, or what we consider him to be. So with us, we started from a certain point. I'm not gonna lie, bro. There were days in 2019, 2020, or early 2020, we went to do a donation. We got books, for the Zion Praise, the CRM kids. We got books, we got, school materials and things like that. I gathered kids together, talk to the leader there. He's called Sam, Uncle Sam. Talk to him, had the kids in a one gathering, talk to them about education, just motivating them. You don't want to see yourself orphan. People call you orphan, it's okay to call you that name. People can think whatever they want to think about you. People can say whatever they want to say, but you are the driver of your own car, your own life. You have 100% decision over where you're going to go in the future. So those were things I used to say. By the end of the day, right after that speech, that time with the kids, we never even had transportation to go home, bro. We almost can't village you always stay. Just
door to door,
walking by
line,
going home. So we almost do that, but thank God, we didn't work. We figured that out. And also there was an instant we went to the New Georgia side, the Liberian Children Rescue and Educational Foundation Orphanage. We took rice. I spoke to the kids again. It was so nice. All the kids were like, wow.
So I want to ask this other question. All of this you were doing on your own budget?
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. So that's the point I'm trying to make. And at the end of the day, we almost walked to go home again. So
after donating?
Yeah, after donating.
Then
so what I'm trying to say,
bro.
I know, man, it's crazy. What I'm trying to say is, it's just about passion. We're just passionate about it. And I personally being a Liberian, passing through poverty, struggle and things like that. Whenever I see people going through that state in life, I just feel damn, what's the heck when they'll do something to solve it? That's what happened to me. I cannot control it. I'm gonna say it that way. So that's the word. It's a passion, and I'm just passionate about it. Even when I never have food at my house, I took food to the orphanages.
Wow.
So we started on our personal pocket. A young kid just graduated high school, eager to change the community, to change the country. Just starting on my own pocket and Abu's personal pocket as well, and the same as Zach. But when we started Full Hunger, I'm gonna say it was just Zach money, my personal time, Abu efforts, and those were the collection of resources we had back then.
Wow.
But we never had funding for anybody.
Yeah. Wow.
Nobody.
What about now, though?
Yeah, right now it's changing, and in the next like 6 months, 8 months, or year, I'm very, very hopeful that it's gonna be better. So like when we register in the US, what we had to do is to set it up as a running NGO. So like that way we had a bank account in Texas, and then we had to do like the website thing, a website platform, so that way we could receive donation, you know what I'm saying?
So people
like,
can go to the website and donate.
Right. So like through the website, we have an option there, like a reoccurring option, like a monthly donation thing. And we also have an option there for the one-time like where
payment.
people can donate one time. So through that state, we have received funding. But also, if you want me to elaborate more, there are other ways we've received funding, like in the past since we started as a registered organization.
No, so guys, what we'll do is we're gonna put the link to their website on the screen so you can see if you want to donate or if you want to contact them to get any information concerning For Hunger. You will see it right on the screen. And better yet, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to be in the description below. If you're watching this on Facebook, it's going to be in the caption above. So yeah, the next question I want to ask you is, I know, finance has been one of the, issues that has slowed you guys down towards building pumps in West Point. What are the other problems apart from?
Oh boy, this question, it just made me, just rise up. It's
too much, yeah?
Yeah, it's too much, but I'm not going to waste your time to keep watching. So like, Faisal just asked, with the exception of finance, what are other issues, like challenges we've had to making sure we end West Point water crisis. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna openly say, we Liberians, we are some of the nicest people on earth. We are very easygoing and friendly, but also we are some of the most difficult people. Like, I'm gonna say, it's very sad to say, but
go in depth. I want to know what you mean by that.
Yeah, it's very sad to say, but we aren't really good at education, like comprehension. So at most point in time, we lost track with certain things. Like, we do not understand little things. That's what I'm trying to say. Till it's well broken down to us. So like, with the exception of finance, what we usually do, we work in line with the highest authority there, that's the commissioner office. So like, we go to the community and we tell the community, hey, can you guys give us support? Like, in a week, we'll nail a water pump down for your guys. And they're like, sure, why not? And I'll be like, it's totally free. It's from us at For Hunger, like all of the donors from us and to your guys. They're like, no worries. But at the end of the day, like, the major challenge we've had in the past is like even now, we're still trying to sort it out to make sure it gets better, is the issue of corrupt officials, like coming back, like corrupt or local authorities or local authority officials coming back to the people and be like, hey, I brought For Hunger here. Can you guys give me $4,000?
So they go back and tell the people in West Point to give them money because they brought you guys there to build the pump.
Wow. So we experienced that at water pump number 2. That's like, I don't know, like how many, probably a year or 14 months back, I'll say it that way. So like, we had an instant where the community was like, guys, we give money to the township. I'm like, no, you don't want to give money to the township authority. It's totally free. And we resolved that. It slowed down a little bit, but what happened recently is so sad to say. It happened at number 9. And number 9.
Pump number 9.
Yeah, and number 9 was funded by a group called the Windell Expedition, by a guy from the group, and he's like, used the group name. So like, I'm like, guys, whenever these pumps break, you call us, we come and repair, because we've told our donors and we're committed to every word we say that.
So you guys are in charge of maintenance too?
Exactly, that's the point I'm trying to make. So we maintain the water pumps, and like, our number 9, I learned it had a problem, so I went to the guys, I'm like, hey, man, give me the key, I'll come and repair. They're like, I don't have the key. I go to the next guys, like, I don't have the key. I'm like, what these guys are trying to do. And the next day, I came back to the community, the water pump is locked. So what they are doing, whenever they hear I'm around, they lock the pump. What they were trying to do is to clean the pump. They're trying to take it off For Hunger name. So there was a day I went back, I just got so angry. I'm like, guys, why are you guys treating me like that? And they just came up around me. They're like, we're gonna kill you. You know we pay money to the commissioner office. I'm like, what? That's not how it works.
Wow.
Yeah, so we resolved that, and we also had an instant where we built a water pump funded by a single individual, and like the caretaker there, like the guy who is maintaining the pump, he broke the sound plate, like the For Hunger logo and a donor name. He broke the sound plate and took it off. And I saw like the entire thing is broken. I'm like, what? Like, what is this guy trying to do? And I learned he was selling the water. I'm like, no, you don't want to do that. So like we had to call, some of the authorities in, and we resolved that as well. So like,
wow.
It's just trying to, make the people understand. It's just trying to break it down to them to the simplest. And I would say it's basically living like them. When I say living like them, it's not to be corrupt though, but it's like trying to cope with their system to understand how to transform it into a better one. So like one of the many challenges we face is, I would say, understanding.
Lack of understanding.
Lack of understanding.
Okay, so For Hunger right now, presently, you guys are doing water pumps in West Point. West Point is just, I wouldn't say half of Liberia. It's just one aspect of Liberia. Do you plan on making this a nationwide thing?
Yeah, so like we've had a long-term goal, which is of course like an NGO. Like what we want to do is to make it go global. It's not only going to be a Liberia thing. But for now, right after West Point water crisis, like right after NEA, we want to do it this year, hopefully middle of the year or the end of the year. Right after, we intend to build, it's not just to build water pump, but it's to be able to build it in a way where it will help people and also make sense when we are explaining it to the international community, to our donors and people around in us or in our cycle. So right after any West Point water crisis, what we want to do is to build a single water pump in every Liberian state. I know West Point is part of Montserrat State, like Montserrat County, but like we're gonna take one to the rural parts of the Bensonville side, one water pump there, and like the rest of the 14 in like the remaining 14 counties. And right after that, we're thinking about building a water pump in like the rural parts, the very deep, like the very, very deep part of
Liberia,
like Guinea, like Liberia and Guinea, like in
Borders,
Guinea, one in Guinea, one in Cote d'Ivoire, and one in Sierra Leone. And right after that, we can decide how we're going to work with those 3 countries, including Liberia.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Lastly, the last question I'd like to ask you is, what advice do you have for any young individual out there who is trying to solve a problem in their community like you?
Yeah, if you are a Liberian viewer, like if you're watching from Liberia or anywhere in West Africa or Africa, I'm going to say that our stories here in Africa have been told differently to the outside world. What I'm going to say, mostly because we are in a state of poverty, like we're just trying to thrive for goodness in Africa in general. But like it has changed a lot the past years, and I'm very optimistic that it's going to change the ones to come. So like if you are from Africa, like in Liberia watching, like what you want to have in mind, the first thing you want to have in mind is nothing is impossible. That's exactly what comes to my mind. Like I made mention of Abraham Lincoln. He came from a very like unknown family, I'll say that way, unknown place. And right now he's one of the most famous people in the US or other places. Like he's a role model for most people, including me, I'll say that way. And even Mahatma Gandhi, we've seen his name all around here. And he had to leave India. There was one point in time he had to leave India to go to the UK to go to school. And it was just crazy for him back then. So like, if you want to make a change, if you are optimistic about something, get off your feet. Nothing is impossible. Start from somewhere, like have a starting point. Like you should be able to have a starting point, and also you should be able to be off your feet as much as you can. Like I'm gonna say that you don't want to believe anybody coming to help you. Nobody coming to take you off the place you are.
Exactly.
Nobody coming to rescue you.
Like some people can be waiting for sponsors or the right equipment before they start working. So it's good you're saying this.
Nobody is coming to help you. Nobody is coming to rescue you. You are the rescuer of your own life. You're the angel of your own life. It is you who's gonna get up to make your personal light shine. Like we all have a star. And for instance, if you're optimistic about the environment, like if you want to be an environmentalist, you yourself have to get off your feet. You start sweeping the dirt for you in the street. You yourself have to get off your feet to start an initiative. Like Martin Luther King Jr. said, if there's no movement, there's no improvement. So number one, nothing is impossible. Number two, nobody's coming to rescue you. And number three, start a movement and be very consistent and optimistic about it.
All right. Thank you. So thank you, Windell S King, for being on the channel.
Thanks,
man. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. If you're watching this on Facebook, click my page, go to the profile and follow me for more interesting videos like this on Liberia. Like always, I'm your favorite Liberian boy, Fizzle. Peace. All right, guys, so we are at West Point football field. Now, this was built by the president, and I'm here with
Amos M. Constant Sr.
Okay. Are you a resident of West Point?
I'm a resident of West Point, and I also work along with the Township Commissioner.
Okay.
And I serve as Director for Sanitation and Hygiene.
How was it like living in West Point?
Well, living in West Point is pretty well good because find out that people are friendly, find out that you have help when you are in need. So living in West Point is pretty much good.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you are doing a little bit of project with Full Hunger.
Yeah.
As to the water condition in West Point. You guys are trying to battle clean drinking water in West Point.
Yes, I must applaud Full Hunger since last year before last.
Okay.
When they first came and then they embraced the idea of fighting water crisis.
Okay.
And as they go back, we are now to pump 11. Can you imagine? Because
out of 28 water pump.
Yep, water pump number 11 have been provided to the people. So you can see that the people are so impressed and they are praying with Full Hunger to continue their good work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for my subscribers out there who have the myth in their head that West Point is a bad area, when you come here, you will get robbed, and you can't just go to West Point jail that will automatically take in your hand. I mean, that was how I felt before I came here. But now my mind has changed towards West Point. So can you better explain that to people that have this concept that West Point is a very bad place to be?
So those are perceptions of people. They think that West Point is a place where when you come, you won't feel free, they will hijack you and other stuff. But I tell you for free, West Point is a place to be. West Point is where when you are in a community, you find out that people are friendly.
Yeah.
You don't get people coming towards you for no reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
So West Point is safe.
West Point is safe on a serious note.
Okay. So thank you for being on the camera.
Thank you too. Yeah.
So I don't only want to hear from one person. I have Romeo here and he will be telling me what West Point is or what it looks like if you are to live here in West Point. So Romeo, what is West Point like living here?
All right, thank you very much. My name is Romeo G. Johnson. I'm the Public Relations Officer in the Office of the Commissioner.
Okay.
Township of West Point with William C. Weir.
Yeah.
When we're discussing West Point as a community, West Point is one of the easiest communities to live because we have access to food even after 12 midnight.
Wow.
You get up any time of the night when you are hungry, you will find food to eat as compared to other community where by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, everybody
inside. Yeah.
But it will surprise you to know that even 12 o'clock in the night, people are on the street, people selling.
Yeah.
If you can drink alcohol, people selling all on the street.
Yeah.
So the accessibility when it comes to getting water or food in West Point at any hour of the night or the day, you can count on West Point.
Okay. So when you mention food, another thing I noticed here is West Point, most of the people here, they are fishermen and women. I don't know if...
Fishmongers.
Okay, yeah. So food is something that you guys have in abundance here. Would you say that?
Yes. Well, you just make mention of fishermen and fishmongers.
Okay.
The ocean is one of the major sources of income for our brothers and our mothers. When I say our brothers, those that get in the kingdom, go on the high sea, they come with their fishes, they sell it, they make money. Their wife or their women also bought those fishes and carry it in the market. Some of them sell it fresh, some of them put it on the dryer, they get dry, they take it to the market and they make money. So the sea, the ocean is one of the major sources of income of West Point. So when people were discussing the relocation of West Point, you find it so difficult because when you take in the people from West Point, and we're looking at the Atlantic Ocean as their source of income, you carry them to area that have no sea, it would be impossible for them to even listen to you. Madam Seri was discussing the relocation of West Point, but again, considering the fact that the ocean serves as a major source of income for us, where we are carrying the people where there is no ocean, how will they survive? That is one of the major reasons you see the people of West Point stay here, but the relocation plan was already on the book. But to take us from here and carry us to area where there is no sea, it's impossible.
So would you say that you are happy that the relocation didn't work, or do you wish that the relocation will actually happen?
On a larger extent, or to a larger extent, we are very much happy that the relocation plan didn't work, because what they were discussing is that certain years from now, West Point will be eaten up by the ocean. So UNDP, they have a program, they call it the Green Climate Fund. The Green Climate Fund, they decided to build a sea wall. What they did in the borough of Hukutan, they decided to build a sea wall that will prevent the sea from eating up West Point. Like for instance, the 407 community, a larger part of 407 have been swept away by the sea. So
here in West Point?
Yeah, in West Point, 407, when you get at the beach there, the coastal line, that was a large community called 407. Going as far as where we call Arikana, even going towards the Traco, that entire area have been eaten up by the sea. But UNDP had a program, and they raised money that they were going to build the coastal defense, what we call, quote unquote, the sea wall. But then we're still looking up to them. Because it has been forecast that at certain time come, West Point will be taken over by the ocean.
Lastly, I would like to ask you, is West Point safe? Because people have the mentality that, you know, when you come here, you will get robbed. When you come here, you will get mugged. You can't just come here like that, you know, come here with somebody who actually live here. You think somebody from anywhere can just come in West Point and walk freely?
I can tell you again and again, West Point people, the people of West Point, the township as a whole, the people of West Point, they are very hospitable. Hospitable in the sense that we love visitors, we love strangers, even though we have some bad apples.
But bad apples are everywhere.
Thank you.
Apples are everywhere.
Those bad apples, we're trying to pluck them out. We're trying to take them among the good apple. But it's a challenge. That is national concern, not just West Point alone. It's a national concern. But you can come in West Point with your hands shrinking, or you can bring your smartphone, you hold it in West Point. Since you go come here, nobody has ever attacked you. So that perception is a wrong perception. It happened years back, that time tomorrow was not born. But right now, we can show you that you can come in West Point with your smartphone, your camera, nobody will rob you.
All right, man. So thank you for being on the camera.
Thank you too.
All right, guys. So in Liberia, we say we are here with our mom, which means we are here with our mother. And I'm going to be asking her a little bit of question on the same topic, West Point. So hello, mom. What is your name?
Hello, my name is Jonette W. Wills.
Okay. So what is it like living in West Point?
Oh, I like living in West Point because I was born here, and West Point is a good community. It's a free community where people come and do their business, do other things, and get other things that they can live by. For me, you see what I started doing, I said it. So West Point is very sweet.
You know, some people out there have the mind or the notion that when you come to West Point, you will get robbed, they will, you know, people will beat you up or something like that, and West Point is not a safe place. So what would you have to say about that?
No, but way back in the past. Now West Point is safe. Anybody can come here and live here. You see, most of the good people that you see in community from West Point. Yes, people come in West Point, they do things here, NGO, other people, nobody harm anybody. They got some bad boys here, but they can't harm people. Instead, you go in morning.
So you have to go to their own part of West Point.
Without carrying somebody with you, you go there, they will harm you. On the visa.
But West Point
West Point, they can't harm nobody. Because if you harm somebody will harm you. They will beat you. So the place is a free place. Nobody harm anybody here.
Lastly, I want to ask you, do you know about the work that Windell, my brother here, is doing in West Point? The water pump that he building, you know about it? Or did you see any new West Point water pump there around here?
I just hear it from them.
But what do you think about it though?
It will be fun because here we suffer for water. Especially for dry season. You see the water they see. If the well are here, when we using the well water, the salt can be in the water.
Oh really?
So during dry season we suffer for water, but rainy season water can be all over. So the water can be less. yes, they can be all right. But dry season, it can be salty.
Okay.
So if you bring the hen pond, we will be satisfied.
Okay,
and
so
we'll be happy.
So the program is he wants to build 28 water pumps.
Oh, it will be good.
In West Point.
It will be
a good idea,
yes,
right?
It will be good.
All right, so thank you for being on the camera.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.